Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back with another YouTube video, and today we're actually going to be discussing Cameron Krutwig from Loyola Chicago. Now, Cameron Krutwig, he just had arguably the game of his life against Illinois, who was the 1 seed in March Madness, dropping 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists en route to beating the Fighting Illini. And just by watching the game, I mean, you can see some of these plays that he's pulling off, and it's just something that's so abnormal for at least a big man. And that's why you'll see in the thumbnail and also the title of this video, I made a comparison to Nikola Jokic. And that might seem very absurd, but there's some similarities between the two. I mean, the first one is that both of them are obviously well above average passers in their positions. I mean, as you can see, he's making perfect passes for backdoor cuts, and he's just really good in the high post. He also has a really good touch around the hoop. Anything within 15 feet, he pretty much is automatic, and he doesn't even have really that Jokic fadeaway per se, but just every single time they'll throw him lobs and he just has the perfect touch to tip it in, whether it's one-handed or if he grabs it. The other thing that they both have in similarity is that they're both very strong, and they both often protect the ball when they're going in the post, which makes it very hard to stop a guy like this. Yes, he's only 6'9", which of course at the college level is taller than a lot of the bigs, but he's also very crafty and a very smart player, who also has the ball in his hands a majority of the time as a result. And the most notable comparison between the two is that, of course, they are both great passers. I mean, you could see during the game, someone threw him a lob and then he tipped it immediately back. I mean, that's something that you have to think of on the fly. When we jump more into this, why is he so much like Nikola Jokic, who can also stretch the floor? Well, of course, in college, more people are going to be playing to a system rather than playing more freelance like in the NBA or in the EuroLeague, etc. So I'm sure once he gets into the NBA, if he ever does, then he would eventually develop that jump shot, or at least showcase it. He might have it fully developed and he just hasn't been doing it so much during college. And you might be saying, this guy might just be a one-game wonder. Well, just in terms of his 4 years at Loyola Chicago, he's averaging 13.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists on about a steal and a block a game. That also comes from being a smart defender. Now, he's not the most mobile defender, neither is Nikola Jokic, but both of them are pretty crafty in that aspect. He's also averaged over 10 points per game for every single season, and he's been extremely efficient as well, shooting about 59% from the field. And in terms of a big man in college, shooting about 70% is not too bad as well, which is what he's been around for 3 of his 4 seasons at Loyola Chicago. But of course, another thing to note is that both Cameron Krutwig and Nikola Jokic have been extremely underrated coming into things. I mean, if we remember, Nikola Jokic was a second-round pick, the 41st pick in 2014. He didn't even play the first year because he stayed overseas, and then when he did come to the NBA that first season, he was the backup big to Jusuf Nurkic. So he kind of had to work his way all the way up in the rotation before they decided we're going to move you in the starting lineup. And then they decided when they had guys like Danilo Gallinari and Kenneth Faried that they were going to build around Nikola Jokic instead. And now, as we see, he's arguably the best big man in basketball and probably a top 10 player in the NBA. Now, that's pretty high expectations for a guy like Cameron Krutwig, considering, he's not even on the mock draft board. But in a similar aspect, he's going to be someone that's extremely overlooked and can really help out a team. At the very least, he could probably produce as much as Aron Baynes, which I know a lot of Raptors fans might not like since he's been playing pretty abysmal this season for them. But we've seen signs of Aron Baynes in the NBA where he has been very productive, like when they won with the San Antonio Spurs and last season with the Phoenix Suns, also that playoff run with the Boston Celtics. But in a lot of ways, his game is so comparable to Nikola Jokic, and I kind of had to bring this up. They're both great passers. They're both smart players. They both had the ball in their hands a lot. They're both strong. They're both crafty. They both excel in the high post game. Both have exhibited what the meaning of clutch is. And I think both of them will end up being seen as a draft steal or a steal in general if both end up being in the NBA. We've already seen Nikola Jokic there, but now it's time for Cameron Krutwig to make his mark. And as Loyola Chicago goes into the Sweet 16, we're going to be seeing more games where he has a higher chance to up his stock. And to be honest, I'm kind of excited to see how it ends up because I believe in this guy. I think that he has a lot of potential. I mean, he definitely already has the leadership with being in 2 of the most memorable runs to date with Loyola Chicago in 2018 and this year as well. His intangibles are there too, but it's just a matter of, will he get a chance? And if he does, I think he will make the most of it. But I hope you guys enjoyed just a little short video to kind of talk about the similarities with Cameron Krutwig and a guy like Nikola Jokic, who's one of the best centers, if not the best center in the NBA right now. And if you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also turn on that notification bell so you know every time I post. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.